raise your hands to heaven and just begin to let your faith increase. Let your heart believe that what he says is true. He's faithful to his word. His word will not return void. Come on, hearts, believe this morning. I don't got to touch his hands. I don't got to touch his side to believe. I don't got to let my emotions lead me or my heart guide me. I have to trust Jesus. Right now I speak to the waves over your life. May they be still in Jesus' name. Right now the winds that are blowing you, tossing you back and forth, has to stop in Jesus' name. He's holy. His name is holy. His name is Jesus. Come on, just worship him. We have no other place to be than to believe today, to rest in his peace. Let faith rise up. Let heart believe. Rise up and let faith rise up. Breakthrough Sunday. There's a Sunday, chains are falling off. People are leaving their wilderness for the promised land. People are being set free this morning. They're going to go face those giants. They're going to go conquer because Jesus says we are mighty. We're mighty through his blood, through his death, and through his resurrection. Give God the praise up in here this morning. Come on, like you mean it, like you're thankful. God is doing in your life. God is good. God is good. God is good all the time. God is good. Amen. Amen. Where are my eagles at? Did any eagles show up in the house today? Any eagles today? Come on, let me see those wings. The devil's in trouble today, let me tell you. The devil's in trouble today because the people he didn't believe would soar on wings of eagles. The people who doubted, the people that feared, the people who thought it couldn't be done. Today you're going to go above the clouds. Tell your neighbor, clear your clouds. Clear your clouds. God is so good. God is so good all the time. God, I just pray that you bless this moment. I pray that you would just move in a mighty way today. I pray you would speak to your people who are ready to soar, for those to clear their clouds, for them to get past their past and move forward by faith. So just speak to us today. And all God's people said, amen and amen and amen. Amen. Hug somebody next to you till they turn blue. Come on, we like you love them up in here. God is good. God is good. Amen. You see, I'm ready to soar into our destiny. I'm ready to soar into our goals. I'm ready to soar and get out of this little chicken coop. Come on, people. We are not chickens. We are eagles, and we got to soar. We got to build our wings. And once you find those wings, you begin to learn how to soar. God wants to take you to higher heights. Tell your neighbor, it's time to go higher. Time to go higher. Time to go higher. Time to go higher. This ground that you're used to is not where you need to be. This ground that you got accustomed to is not where you need to be. That you need to rise in his name. You need to move in his name. You need to soar in his name. You are his chosen people. Yeah. You're anointed. Yeah. You're his royal priesthood. Yeah. And I didn't come here today just to give you a pretty little sermon. I came here today because I believe that God wants to fulfill His promise to you. And I believe He has a word for you specifically if you'll let the peace of your circumstances settle. If you put your phones aside and your agenda aside and just press in, and we're going to learn that you were born for this. Tell your neighbor you were born for this. You're born for this day, and we're going to clear the clouds. Amen. Turn to Numbers chapter 13. Numbers chapter 13. You see, once you're born and you're out of the nest, like we don't realize that Egypt was a good nest for them for a season. God saved them from the famine and took a family of 70 and created a whole nation where they were fed and cared for and nurtured and provided for. And once they got there, they needed to start soaring. And so Joseph had a dream. And he shared it a little too soon, I believe, but it was for God's glory, for things to be prophesied and set forward. And as he shared with his brothers that one day they would bow, and one day he would be in high power, and one day he would be able to save a nation, they couldn't believe it because they were on the ground. And Joseph started soaring. He started soaring, and he took the greatest place he possibly could take as a foreigner was second in charge. He had his chariot, he had his command, he had his power, and God used him to save a family, but he had a greater plan in mind, to save his people. And after they got uncomfortable and after they started crying out to him, God set them free and took them to a wilderness and created another nest for them. It was an 11-day journey, people, that turned into 40 years because of the way they thought. I believe if you'll change the way you think, even 11 days from now, you will bypass years of pain, years of doubt, years of struggle, years of stronghold, just because you said, I'm ready to soar. You see, these people, they were guided by a fire by night. Why do they need a fire in the desert? You think it would be hot. Actually, in the desert at night, it gets very, very cold. So God provided a fire by night and a cloud by day because the sun was so hot, it would burn them if they weren't covered and protected. He had them in a nest, a temporary nest. And he was so good because they're used to going, eating like little baby eagles. Feed me. He dropped manna from heaven. They never seen manna. They didn't know what it was. When they took too much, it would spoil. They had to take just the right amount. One day at a time. You see, you're trying to plan and prepare for what you don't even know will happen tomorrow. Today wants you to just enjoy the nest he's created right here, right now. But the wilderness wasn't the place, was it? That's where they settled for 40 years. Today we're going to learn not to settle. Tell your neighbor, don't settle. Time to soar. Time to soar. Let's look at God's word in Numbers chapter 13. We'll pick up at verse 30. It'll be up on the screen for the unholy ones. It says, Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, see, Moses has sent 12 spies out to explore the territory, to go and see, is it true what God said? Was it a land of milk and honey? Was it a land with great fruit? Was it true? Was it possible? Caleb silenced them and says, we should go up and take possession of that land, for we certainly can do it. Certainly we can do it. Joshua and Caleb, they had an eagle mentality. Certainly we can do it, but the men who had gone up with them said, we're chickens. We can't attack those people. We're not strong enough. We're not the right race. We're not enough white, enough black, enough mentality to go after these strong people. They're stronger, they're more equipped, they're bigger than we are, they are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they explored. They said that land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw Nephilim there, the descendants of Anak come from Nephilim, we seem like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we look the same to them. We look weak. We look like chickens. We look like we can't do what God said we could do. See how perception is so important. See how you look at yourself in the mirror is so important. Verse 1 of chapter 14. That night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept out loud. God, it's too hard. Why did you save us from Egypt to bring us out to kill us? I don't want to die. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said to them, if only we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us to the land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? Is that where you're at today? You rather go back than forward? You rather be on the ground than soaring? Tell your neighbor, I'll never go back. I'll never go back. Never go back. Once you taste and know that God is good, once you've seen his miraculous powers, once you experience and know that he's faithful, even through the storms, you'll never go back. That's why I know the devil's in trouble today, because today's a breakthrough Sunday. Tell your neighbor, I'm about to break through. I'm going to break through my wilderness. I don't know who I'm preaching to. I don't know what wilderness you're in. I don't know what you're struggling with. But what I do know is that God is faithful. And what I do know is that God is able to finish this work that he created in you. He didn't call you a warrior to lose. He didn't call you to be insignificant. He said you will do great and mighty things. You will go from glory to glory if you'll learn to clear your clouds. Soar high, soar high. God, I pray right now, as I come with a humble offering this morning, to speak forth your power and your truth. I pray that we would soar like eagles, and we'll give God all the praise through it. And all God's people said, amen, amen. Tell your neighbor again, I'll never go back. I'll never go back. You see, when you're in a nest and you get comfortable, you forget that there's other things out there, right? We get comfortable with Leslie Chapel, but we forget that there are other nations out there that you can visit, like Brazil or China or Egypt, or you can go places. You don't have to settle right here in this little nest, and don't get so comfortable. You see, what happened was that they got free from being beaten. Isn't it crazy that how quickly we forget of yesterday when we don't remember how and who was treating us? When we get past it, we're like, I'd rather go back, but those same people are going to be there. The people that abuse you, the people that enslave you, the people that are going to pull you down are the ones that you need to break free from. You got to change your friends. You got to change your mindset. And the first thing to get to this new level, to clear the clouds. Have you ever been on a plane? And you're on the ground, and before long, you're kind of above the clouds. You can't see the ground anymore. All you see is these white clouds. That's where God wants to take you. Yeah. But don't be surprised that you're going to encounter turbulence. You ever been on the plane? It's the worst feeling, right? You're just there napping, got your seatbelt, and this is unsafe, but this is safe, right? I don't get it, but unsafe, safe, right? That's a whole nother sermon. But what happens is you hit a little turbulence, and you kind of realize, I'm in a piece of metal in the air. Yeah. And it could fall, right? And you're like, I hope this pilot didn't fall asleep, and that's why we're incurring turbulence. I hope he's awake. I hope he's leading us to the place we need to soar to, the place we need to go. And so we get a little more prayerful. God, just land the plane. That's why I don't know about you, but like when we fly to Cuba or South America, any Latin country at least that I've been to, as soon as you land the ground, they're like, woo! Clapping. That's true. It's true. Because, I mean, you just went thousands of miles further and faster than you could possibly imagine on your own. Can you imagine walking the Paraguay? I mean, come on, it's forever. But a plane ride above the clouds, you can get there quicker and faster if you'll just soar like you're meant to soar. So you gotta, to get to these clouds, you gotta assemble Your dreams. Put your dreams together. That's why I remember I said 2018 is going to be determined on you. What are you dreaming about? Whatever you're focused on, whatever you're dreaming about is what will happen. This is not a claim it, name it gospel. I'm not preaching that. I'm not saying by the end of 2018 I'm going to be a millionaire. If God wants, yay. But I'm talking about dreams, actual dreams. Everything that you'll put down on paper, make a dream board, assemble it, put it. I want to be successful. When I was real estate, I never sold a house, and I went to my first meeting selling a house. They're like, how'd that happen? Because I put in my dream that I'm going to sell a house if I'm going to be a realtor. Hello. Right? You got to sell something to be able to be a salesman. You got to have dreams and goals. That's why me and Vivi don't do therapy. Therapy is a place where you can just sit on the couch and tell everybody how you feel. Feelings aren't going to change your circumstances. Dreaming about it is not going to change it. Assembling it and putting goals into place is what's going to happen. You're going to need 3 things when you start assembling your dreams. You're going to need supporters. You don't need doubters. Debbie doubters got to go out the window. They got to go. They got to go. You need supporters. You need people that anything you say to that sounds possible. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's think about it. Let's dream about it. You need those people that are going to encourage you no matter what. Barnabas was a great encourager. He encouraged, that's his name. It means encourage. You need some Barnabas in your life. Someone's just going to support you. Say, if you believe it, I believe with you. How many people have friends like that in your life? Most time you tell people you're going to do something, they go, not going to happen. Not you. You are going to invent that, right? You're going to come. I don't think so. Wake up, smell the roses, stupid, hello. And we hang around those kind of people. Shame on me for saying stupid in church. I'm sorry. But we need supporters. We need supporters. We need people that say, yes, I've never seen it done, but let's do it together. Yes, we can accomplish it. Then God said you can do all things through Jesus. Let's believe that. Let's have these assemblers, these dreams in place where you'll write out and say, by the end of 2018, I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be present. Tell your neighbor, I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be present. If you're not present in the Lord, you're not going to be able to accomplish his dreams. Yeah. You got to write them out. You need supporters. Secondly, you need advisors. You need wise counsel, not bad counsel. We experienced some things this week where people came to us and said, we made these decisions based off this counsel. The counsel was horrible. I mean, like a kindergarten wouldn't tell you to do that. And they were like, it's the best idea I've ever had. Like, where did you get this advice? Like, are you getting it from the shopping line right there on the magazine? Where are you getting this kind of wisdom from? God didn't create you to not seek advice. Seek his advice. Seek his word. Let this, the Bible, be your standard. Assemble your dreams to get to the place. It just doesn't happen. It's not a kid Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. Whatever happens, I'm over here one day. So nice. Oh, I don't like this person. I'm over here again. I'll go to this church. I'll go to this ministry. I'll go over here. And guess what? You can unpack your bags, but if you don't change the way you think, you're going to go through the same circumstances. That's why when you're tired with one relationship, you say it's over, and you go and you pick up another relationship. Guess who's involved there? You are. And if you haven't fixed yourself, it's going to be broke. And before you know, it doesn't matter what kind of things you unpack. If you don't change the way you think, you're going to be on the ground, and you need to be soaring. You need wise counsel. Get wise counsel. Let people give you advice even when you don't like it. Like you should have someone in your life, like you can say, hey, be honest. What do you see my weaknesses are? Where am I failing in my life? What's going on? And none of us like to hear those things. We get defensive. We're like, what? I'm a good person. I thought I was doing something good. And you need these wise people to be able to breathe truth, to guide you and lead you, because their interest is not themselves. Their interest is for you to be better, for you to be the best. You need to assemble. Henry Ford said this, coming together is the beginning.
Keeping together is progress, but working together is success.
Oh, come on.
See, I can relate to that because I worked on an assembly line for 10 years. And if one person messes up their job, my life was miserable. Because I had to wait till the whole car get to the end to undo everybody else's job to fix that one thing to go back to do all the other things. And I worked on the inside, so I had some tools and I had the things that I needed, but we'd have to tear things apart that were perfect, that were new, that should operate properly. But one person's trying to go daydreaming. It won't matter if I do that one screw, if I won't plug in that one electronic to the radio. The radio won't work if it's not plugged in. You can have power, but if it's not plugged in, time and time again, we just have to go and do all these things, undo things to fix things that should have been done in such assembly line. That's why that coming together is just a beginning. You coming here on Sunday is a beginning. Don't get in the habit of not encouraging one another, but keeping together is progress, moving forward. But a community working together is success in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah.
When you bring your talents and your gifts and your passion and your dreams to encourage others, and we can extend His dream out into the world, that's progress for me. That's when you begin to soar. Thirdly, you need mentors. People who have gone ahead of you. They've already paid the price. They already got the t-shirt. They already know where the story is going to go, so they try to give you, saying, you can go down that road, no problem. But there's danger. And we're like, okay. No. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a real pirate. You're not really going to be hurt me. And what happens? You get hurt. And you need these mentors in your life that would tell you not to go down that road. How are you doing in your life? And what's going on? And you got to assemble your dreams. Write it out. That's why we encourage you to journal. That's why we give you a bulletin, a pretty little bulletin every week to write out some things and dreams and give you space to be creative, to color in the lines. What is it God is asking you to do? You got to clear the clouds. You got to get past your circumstance and get into that big picture. That's why we go high, so we can see everything that's about to happen. And these people, Caleb and Joseph, hold on. Whoa, Caleb. I'm thinking in Spanish right now. Yes. Oh, wait. Joshua, thank you. They went and explored the land and said, we can do this. And they were like, no, we can't. In our own eyes, we look like grasshoppers. I mean, we look small to them. And they perceive us that way. The way you see yourself is how the world perceives you. If you see yourself defeatless, if you see yourself weak, if you see yourself a little tiny little grasshopper instead of this mighty eagle, that's how you're going to live. That's how you're going to act. You got to assemble your dream. Get supporters, get mentors, and get advisors in your life. Secondly, what goes up comes down. The Bible talks about the pride before the fall. If your head gets too big, He's going to give you a wilderness. He's going to give you a desert. He's going to give you a little humbling moment so you realize what went up always comes down. Called gravity. And it starts in your mind. Romans 5:3 says this, not only so, but we also glory in our suffering. I don't like to glory in my suffering, but we glory in our suffering because we know that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. If you're hopeless, you're not enjoying suffering. If you're hopeless, you haven't let suffering produce perseverance. So learn to be patient when you're soaring. You got to learn to wait. Be still and know that I'm the Lord, He says. Be still and know that I need to be patient. You got to be steady. You got to keep going, even though, aren't you glad the Wright brothers didn't give up? They built a plane out of nothing. They had some support. They wrote these dreams. They assembled. They said, if we take this piece of metal and get it right, we can fly. And they perceived, they were patient, they were steady, they were faithful. Tell your neighbor, keep room to grow always. Keep room to grow. Tell your neighbor, keep room to grow. You got to keep room to grow to be able to soar. Once you thought you made it, you're about to fall. The moment you think, I got this. That's why Christianity is so hard at times, because you weren't called to be a Christian. You were called to make disciples. Christian means Christ-like. Yes, you should be like Christ, be his aroma, but make disciples. Disciples is hard work. That means you gotta invest in people and train them, and you gotta soar with them, and you gotta realize that once you were lost, but now you're fine, and you want other people to come along, and you lower your wing, and let them mount up on your wisdom and your experiences, and take them further and faster than you ever accomplished. You know, me and Joy and V were talking this week, and we were just talking about simple things like where do certain things come from? Like, who invented a CD that could hold data? Who invented the first computer? I mean, there's like, it wasn't there, metal somehow computer. It was a big thing, right? Or how does from a phone mirror to some other object that's plugged into a TV show up on the television? In color, with actual audible words, if you unmute it. Where does this come from? This knowledge and this creativity came from people clearing the clouds, of them getting up, and they know that they can keep going, and they have to constantly grow. What's going to make you the best eagle, the leading eagle in your pack, is that you're willing to grow. You're willing to take notes from people that you wasn't willing to take notes from. You're ready to go and spend time with people. They used to do these apprentice programs, right? Mm-hmm. Right? An electrician could never be an electrician until they go through the apprentice program. Still today, that's how it is. You want to be an electrician? Great. Come be with an electrician. And we kind of lost that art of making metal into swords, and making metal into buildings, and being creative and putting things together. And we got to assemble these dreams, but we got to stay humble. We got to be patient and steady and faithful. We got to always keep room to grow. And the third one is learn to fail fast and crash last. Yeah. Like we have this mentality, like, wing it or fake it till you make it, right? That's good in the flesh world. Yeah. Doesn't work in the spiritual world, because you can't fake a relationship. You can't fake intimacy. You cannot fake it till you make it, because as soon as my wife knows I'm faking in the way I love her, there's going to be a little hindrance there in her response. You got to know you're sincere. That's why I love working with students. I love working with them, because instantly they can tell you if you're a fake or not. They know if you're the real deal. They know if you're really loving them or you want something. And we grow up as adults, and we start faking it until we make it, even at work sometimes, and we don't really know what we're doing. And we got to learn to fail fast. The Wright brothers failed fast and often, but they didn't give up. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard the miracle on the Hudson? Mm-hmm. This pilot took off from LaGuardia, New York, and they got about 4,000 feet in the air, and they hit a flock of geese. Both motors shut down. And the pilot had a decision to make. Do I protect this piece of metal, or do I protect the most precious cargo on it? And he had to think about it. He had to go through this. He had to go through his Vietnam experience. He had to go through his piloting experience. What can I do in a quick instance? He had a crash last, but fail fast. His engines had failed. His circumstances weren't looking good. All 158 passengers, I believe, that were on the plane, their hands, their lives were in the decisions on how this one captain solely operated and chose to decide to do. Instead of landing on the freeway, instead of trying to get to another airport, glide his way in there, he saw water, he saw the Hudson, and he said, I'm landing there. And what he did is that he landed and he saved everyone's last because he wasn't worried about his flight failing. He wasn't worried about, hey, I took off from LaGuardia, I have to land over here. What he was concerned about is the precious cargo that he was entrusted with. And he landed in the Hudson, and it stayed there for a while. Everybody got on boats, and he said there's a whole movie about it if you want to watch it, Captain Stone. It's an amazing story, but it just reminded me that we're in the cockpit sometimes, and other people's lives depend on it. And how you act, and how you lead, and how you soar will determine their destiny. You're like, I'm not responsible. Yes, you are. You're responsible for the next generation.
Yeah.
You're responsible to carry on God's truth. You're responsible for God's people that he placed in your life because, yes, the job is there and nice and good provision, but the job is not why you're there. You're there to help people land into the safe, everlasting waters of Jesus Christ. He wants you to learn that you have to fail boldly if you want to succeed. It's okay to fail. I failed, you know how many times? I'm still failing today. I try to learn, but don't stay in failure. Don't let that, oh, I'm just a failure. No, you're not. Don't just use those experiences to help yourself grow so that you can soar to new heights. Are you ready to soar in 2018? I got one more sermon on soaring, and I hope by the end of it that you're just flying like an eagle. Because you're not a baby anymore. You have some muscles. You've worked out some faith issues. You worked out your hope issues, and you got wings, people. You got wings now. Now that you soared on his wings for a while, you need to start flying on your own. God wants to take you places you've never been. That's why he said, I'm going to give you great and mighty things that you know it's not. Unsearchable things, unknowing places where you can take the gospel, where you can take the love of Christ into homes and families. You can be the difference in someone's life. That's why I get up every morning. Because I know I can come and I can encourage you and I can equip you to be soaring eagles and flying and know that whatever goes up sometimes crashes, but don't stay there. You got to get back up. Some of you need an emergency landing this morning. Some of you need to say, I'm about to crash. I need to land this plane somewhere. Some of you are thinking, I wish PK would land this plane so I can go eat lunch. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying this emergency landing that you need to make is to not get deterred. Don't get forsaken. Don't get heavy. Get some needed repairs in your life. They're not to hurt you or to help you. Get back in the cockpit and head down the runway to the promised land. You know what Caleb did at 85 after he waited 40 long years? Because I can't do it. I'm a chicken. They're too big. It's too hard. I don't want to. Take me back to Egypt. I'd rather be a slave. I like chains. I like whips. I'd rather build bricks for Pharaoh. After they all passed away, finally, he went and got his mountain. He at 85, he still had the mindset of an eagle. What he said 40 years ago, he got to go accomplish because he didn't give up. He didn't say, oh, this is hopeless. I can't believe God got me hanging out with these losers and these sinners and these people that don't want to go anywhere. No, he said, we can always do it. But wait on the Lord. And let's soar in his strength. Let's not grow weary, church. Let's not be faint, church. Let's rise up and clear the clouds. And it starts right here. Your clouds have to be up here. You got to get out of your head. You got to get out of the way you think. You got to stop thinking like a chicken and start soaring like an eagle. You got to just change. Tell your neighbor, it's time to change. Time to change. I just want you to know that God, as I conclude, God expects you to win. He expects you to win. He said he's not going to put you in any situation you can't handle. He said you're a mighty warrior. He said you are more than conqueror. If you're a more than conqueror, he doesn't expect you to lose. He doesn't expect you to give up. He doesn't expect you to settle. He doesn't expect you to be mediocre. He expects you to be excellent. And he expects you to be an eagle. And he wants you to soar, to go to new heights, to new levels, and take other people with you. That's his expectation. I heard a great sermon this week about God's standards, and I was reminded that they're not my standards. This is not what I chose for you. It's what God chose for you. His standards are high, and you should live up to His standards, not the worldly standards. The world will tell you, be a chicken, it's okay. We'll give you a trophy anyways. You didn't win. You'll get a medal, it's okay. The world will say, do whatever your flesh is telling you, fake it till you make it. The world will say, you can't do that. That giant is way too big. You remember, you're just a grasshopper, even in your own eyes. Something happened in Joshua and Caleb that they were able to get above the clouds. Because when they're above the clouds, there's no distractions, there's no traffic jams, there's no hindrances. It's the sun and the clouds, and you're just soaring. Unless you parasail or fly in these new flying suits or something, it's going to be hard for you to sail. The closest I've been to soaring is in an airplane, and it's peaceful when there's no turbulence. It's just amazing when you can just be up in that sky, knowing that you have a destination, knowing you're on a purpose, knowing that you're on a mission. You see, I believe that as we trust God and we begin to soar into our destinies and set these goals and get our dreams assembled and start getting the right counsel around us, God will take you to greater and bigger places. He's ready to take you out of the wilderness of your nest, the nest of your wilderness, into the promised land, where the milk is good. It's full of honey, and the fruit was so big it took 2 men to carry it back to tell the people of God that we can do this. So I don't know where you're at this morning. You're stuck in this mindset that you're just coming here again, waiting to get some manna from God, the little baby. Feed me one more time, God. I just need one more word before I start. Are you going to let Him stir up your nest? You see, this whole series is about you changing the way you think and stirring up your past and forgetting it and letting go and put it behind you and take one step. Can you stand to your feet and bow your heads? Before you close your eyes, I want you to switch places with somebody. Just change your seat real quick. Just come on, just switch real quick, because God's about to change some things up in your routine, in your life. God wants you to get out of your comfort zone, move up from the back row to the front row, and He's ready to take you to a higher dimension, a higher level. But it requires you to take a step. It's going to require you to let faith, belief in your heart. It's going to require you to get uncomfortable. It's going to require you to change where you normally stay at, who you associate with, and where you're going. And you're going to start getting your dreams together. You're going to start believing God that yes, I can retire. Yes, I can sell that. Yes, I can accomplish this, because you have given me creativity and innovation, and you're about to fulfill all that you promised. This altar is about to be open. I pray you tremble before His presence, because He's here and He's real, and He's ready to let you out of your wilderness if you're willing to take the step of faith into the promises of God, into the faithfulness of God, that He'll tear down those giants, He'll break down the walls, and He'll give you the new land that you need and that you're longing for. I'm believing this for floodgates, I'm believing this for myself, and I'm soaring with you. I'm going to a higher place. I'm going to clear the clouds in my head. I'm going to get past the doubts and the shame and the fear and the world standards. I'm going to let God's standards rule and guide me from this point forward. I'm going to start soaring. I'm going to mount up on His wings of forgiveness, His wings of compassion, His wings of strength, and I'm going to soar into a new dimension, into a new place, and I'm not going to let the devil take me back where I used to be. Not today, and never again. I'll never go back to Egypt. I'll never go back to the wilderness. I'm going to the promised land where the leaves won't wither, where the streams of water will flow, and everything I do prospers. That's His promise to me and my family in Psalms 1, that whatever we do prospers. As long as we stay obedient, as long as we stay faithful, as long as we just keep the course and soar with Him and let Him guide us and lead us into new relationships, to lost people, to broken people, to hurting people, and pick them up and bring them to the feet of Jesus where His grace is sufficient. So if you're ready to soar like an eagle, you're ready to clear those clouds of shame and fear and pain and hurts and discomfort and unforgiveness, I pray you just take one step towards this altar. You come kneel before your King and say, God, I'm ready to fall at your feet. I'm not going to fail on my own anymore. I'm going to try to take this plane into places that are dark and lonely, where people can see the light and the love of Jesus, and we can rescue them and save them from the wilderness and take them to the promised land that I choose to walk into. I'm going to be the one who brings about the change to this generation. I'm going to be the one that be the first to graduate high school, the first to come up with this new app, the first to invent something, the first to be creative with my time and my talent, my resources, so that the gospel of Jesus can be proclaimed. If that's you, on the count of 3, you're saying, I'm ready to clear my clouds. I'm ready to get past this place where I'm stuck in. I'm going to go higher and further on the wings of Jesus in 2018. If that's you, on the count of 3, just simply raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, just lift it up high. Amen. God bless you. God bless you. As I sing this song, I encourage you to take a step of faith. There's plenty of room in this altar for every single one of us to come and give God our wilderness, and give God our doubts, and give God our fears, and begin to soar on His wings of eagles. Come, church, come.
The storm surrounding me, every wave at your name. Oh, seas, the raging meets, every wave at your name. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. The silence fear, Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. All these bones to live, all these lungs to sing again. Praise, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. The silence fear, Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. Silence fear, Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble, Jesus, Jesus. alive, forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It's a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name will not be overcome. Your name is a light that forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. Your name is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is a light forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus, you silence fear. Jesus, Jesus, you make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus.